Was the couple's party a dig? You be the judge.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 6, episode 9 of Married to Medicine. 6 seasons. 6 seasons. Everything has always been done as couples. It's always been that way because it is Married to Medicine. And it actually focuses on the marriages of doctors and doctors' wives, or vice versa, doctors and doctors' husbands. But we've never actually done a party or an actual function that required this whole couple thing, because generally Heavenly's usually by herself because Damon is usually not there, or he's actually coming late or something like that. A lot of times Eugene is either not there or he's late. There's always some times when certain women actually end up by themselves. Nothing's ever really been focused like this on this whole, it's always been a thing where they're all couples. Yes, we know they're couples, but it's never an odd thing where one of the wives or the spouses couldn't be there and be like a centerpiece standing out by yourself. But then look at who it's coming from. And I know y'all are going to say, oh, you're just picking on her. Okay, I am. She's shady. And it was done to be shady. And I had thought it. And I wasn't going to say anything. I said, they're going to jump all over me. But then when she said it herself, it wasn't done to be shady. Doesn't that remind you of a nice little gay saying? No shade, but shade. Anyway, so y'all built whatever case y'all wanted. Bitch did it on purpose. It was what it was. But, I fault Quad for not being able to pull through it. I understand it is a hurt piece and all of that. But girl, listen, it reminds me of one of my favorite songs by Nancy Wilson. If you've never heard it, go and Google it, iTunes it, YouTube it, something. It's Nancy Wilson. The song is called Greatest Performance of My Life. And if I was Quad, maybe I'd have pulled through, and that's exactly what I would have gave. I would have gave the greatest performance of my life. I would not have let that bitch have the one up on me. Anyway, we'll talk about it when we get to it because I done got all the way off track. But we're going to talk about it. Remember, like I said, greatest performance of my life, Nancy Wilson. Pull it up. One of the fiercest songs that she ever did. Nancy Wilson is the master storyteller and a little 3-minute spot. Miss Nancy don't play no games. But anyway, first things first. On this episode, we see Quad and Toya. Quad had this really pretty yellow outfit on. She's on her way from the set of Sister Circle, and she stopped by Toya's house, and you could actually tell that Toya was so happy. She was so happy that somebody voluntarily recorded with her and that she was actually seeing somebody other than her 2 sons. And I said, now see, you see how happy you are when somebody's being friendly to you? Bitch, maybe if you act friendly and stop acting crazy all the time, more people will stop past your house and visit you. And you won't have these issues. Goofball. But she enjoyed her visit from Quad. I said, well, that's nice. That was cute. And they were just talking about the 4-bedroom house. And of all people, Toya, you're not the one to say, girl, what you need a 4-bedroom house? Bitch, what you need a mansion for? Everybody get what they want because that's what you work for. You work to be able to go and get what you want. Period. Just go get what you want. And it's so funny because I've heard that a lot because I always said I always wanted a 5-bedroom house. Even before I had my boys, I always wanted a 5-bedroom house. That was always my dream, was to have a 5-bedroom house. And everybody always said, "Why in the hell do you need a 5-bedroom house?" Because I do. Because I do. Because I have enough shit to fill it up. Because I do. It's just that you just have certain things that you want. And so, well, she had a 4-bedroom house. Child Quad's extra. Everything about her is extra. I can imagine that she got enough clothes to fill the damn house up. So it didn't even shock me as strange. But coming from Toya, I was like, girl, shut up. Shut up. You the last person on this cast that need to be telling some motherfucker what they need, what they don't need, and why do you have that much? Anyway, but it was funny to see them. This is like the first scene, I think, this season that I've actually enjoyed Toya. And the fact that she was enjoying time with her friend. She was glad to have her friend back. So kudos to you. I'm glad you got your friend back because you was damn near about to lose her forever. Now what you need to try to get together is fix that shit with Contessa because it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. We met Contessa with you. You brought Contessa to us. How is it that now you can't stand to be around Contessa and we all love Contessa? Get that shit together, Toya. It's foolish. It's foolish. Very, very foolish. And you and Contessa are not going to stand on here and be the next Mariah and Quad. You get that shit together with Contessa. That's ridiculous. But anyway, moving on. So Mariah and Aiden are actually talking a little bit, and you can tell Mariah's still a little uneasy about the whole thing of possibly having to move out of Atlanta. Well, it's going to happen. They basically etched it in stone. He signed on for another year, but for the most part, when that year is over, they're going to have to move. And Mariah's very uneasy about it. Aiden is actually definitely taking it better than Mariah. She basically was saying she was kind of okay with Texas, which I could definitely see because she's from Memphis, I think, originally. So I could definitely see her comfortable with Texas. And she's not real comfortable with California, but dig this. When it comes to Mariah. I understand what her point is about not really wanting to raise her children in California. But can you imagine the possibilities for Mariah living in California, just living on the West Coast in general? She's a producer, she's a creator, she's a writer. I mean, you came up with the idea for the show. Just think of the possibilities of you being on the West Coast, professional wise. And I think I know she could move pieces. She does a good job of moving pieces, you know what I mean? And doing what she needs to do career wise. But sometimes you just need to be where the action is to spark your flame. It just hit me all at one time and I just sat there and I was like, I don't know, Mariah. I don't know. Sometimes, you be fighting and putting your foot in your own way. I can imagine what the possibilities for Mariah Huq would be living on the West Coast. Because she did a great job with creating this show. So I can't even imagine what would be possible for Mariah to come up with living in California. I don't know. But that's just my thing. Anyway, moving on. Contessa and Jackie. Jackie went over to see Contessa, brought her a cancer survivors and cancer awareness basket. Very pretty basket. Had a whole lot of stuff in there that she could definitely use. And the biggest part of her visit, she told her, girl, you need to get your ass up out of this house. Stop hiding in this house. The best way to get over what's going on is to get out there and get in it. Put your heels on and get moving. And Contessa's like, yeah, I hear what Jackie's saying. I understand. But Jackie got her way of doing her thing. I got my way of doing my thing. And I can't wait for her to leave right now so I can go get the fuck in this bed. I just fell out laughing. Fell out laughing. So I was like, all right. Um, and that's true. Jackie always does too much. Jackie pushes too much. That's one of her problems. She pushes too much. She's a workhorse. And when you have the time that you can sit down, sometimes it's worth sitting down. Sit the fuck on down. So I think she's fine. They were kept saying, well, she's staying away from the group because of Toya. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think she's just chilling. She's just chilling. And the one thing that I do see with Contessa, I think she is really appreciating spending time with her children because she actually really did this whole thing for her children. And I think she is just like really savoring this downtime, spending it with her kids. So, hey, and reflecting, you know what I mean? Reflecting on life in general and just how precious it actually is. I think she's just reflecting and really spending time, with her kids. And I think that's a lot of why there's no real big rush to do what she's doing. I think she's in this little place. And when she's done, she'll be done. Anyway, moving on. Toya and Eugene have decided to be the ones to do the planning for the couple's trip. I have no problem with that. I definitely have no problem with that. One, it's going to give Toya something to do. Two, I think she'll do a good job at it because every time we've ever seen Toya piece together a party or anything, she does give good parties. I will give that goofy bitch that. That bitch knows how to give a good party, and her parties are always very interesting. Her themes and things, she carries her themes out pretty well. So I can imagine. I think that Toya will do a good job. Now staying on budget and on task, bravo. God bless y'all with that when y'all turn it over to Toya. I don't know what y'all get ready to do, but whatever. But yeah, yeah, I'm glad Toya's doing the trip. But then she letting her petty in. She letting her petty in because at first she was considering not inviting Quad, and she's totally against inviting Contessa. Like, how'd that work? So, I don't know. I said, girl, here you go. Here you go. One step forward, two steps back. Me and Toya just gonna always fight just like me and Mariah. That's all. Heavenly had a little session. You all know she's the dentist for Tawanda Braxton. And she was in there with Tawanda. The fuck is wrong with Heavenly's head? Her head was a mess. It literally looked like a damn bird's nest. I said, girl, a mess. And I'm gonna throw this in there. This is not my read, but it was one of the fiercest reads I've actually heard in all of 2008. This 2018. This is one of the fiercest reads I've heard. And I actually heard it on a live. It was a messy live that Sean Bradley was doing, and there was a lady who came in there, and her name is On Site April. And I don't even remember who it was she was battling with. I don't remember who she was battling with, so I'm not getting into that part. All I know is I was on the live, baby, and I heard her say that the virgin hair that whoever it was wearing looked like it had been fucking. And I about fell on the goddamn floor. Do you hear me? And that's the only thing that I came up with when I looked at Heavenly's head when she was in there doing Tawanda's teeth. I said, girl, that virgin hair looked like it's been fucking. And I just got just as tickled because I thought back to that old messy ass live in that damn April. And I laughed so goddamn hard. That shit is funny. Virgin hair looked like it been fucking. Child, I like that, honey. I like that. But anyway, it did. Her hair looked a fucking mess. So I was like, oh God, Heavenly, just stop it. Yeah, I can't stand nobody to put weave in their hair and don't comb it. Why would you buy hair not to comb? What is the point of all that? You buy hair, not the fucking comb. Whatever. I don't get it. But moving the fuck on. Anyhow, so Jackie and Curtis, it's their 16th anniversary. Curtis actually did a good job. Y'all know I'll be tearing Curtis's stinking ass up. He did a good job. He put everything together, and he brought her to like Paris and Atlanta. And their first trip together, he took her to Paris, and he kind of tried to recreate some of that in Atlanta, and it rained. Well, hey, you know what? It rains in Paris all the time, child. So it rained and everything, and I was like, oh wow. And he really seemed happy, like for a change. He wasn't all arrogant and all that shit like he usually be, because you know I can't stand Curtis. Y'all know Curtis gets on my nerves. But he seemed very happy, and his eyes was just as glassy. And I kept looking, I was like, is he really this happy that he's ready to cry? I don't know. Or is something going on with Curtis that we don't know about? I said this last week. Something, Curtis was off, like he wasn't feeling well. And I was looking again at Curtis, and I'm saying, did Curtis look a little weak to y'all? Or is it just me? We're going to let it go with he was just happy, very happy. You know what I mean? Because he really almost fucked that marriage up. That marriage was almost null and void this time last year. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave it on that he's just happy. But it was so funny because he was so out of sorts. He wasn't himself. Because, you know, Curtis is an arrogant bastard. He wasn't any of those things. He was really tame, really down low with his thing. And eyes looking glassy. I hope ain't nothing going on. I really hope nothing's going on. I hope he was just happy. But it was really nice what he did for Jackie. It was cool. I was like, all right, Jack. That was cool. Okay, now let's go on over to this messy ass black love party given by you know who, honey. So everybody had to actually come as their favorite couple. Right. Singling her out, trying to come at her yet again as usual. You are a real bitch. A real bitch. Like literally. Just mess. But anyway. So, and then she made this comment. And Mariah, girl, this is something that floored me. And maybe I've just missed it. Do you all even look at Aiden and Mariah as an interracial couple? I have never, the whole 6 years I've been watching this show, I have never identified them as an interracial couple. And they are. I mean, they really are. He's Bangladeshi. She is black. But I just have always looked at them like just another black couple. And when she was saying that shit never crossed my mind. I've never looked at them that way. Child, I just eats Aiden's ass up the same way I eat up Cecil and old fat ass Eugene and whoever else. I never look at Aiden as if he's anything other than a brother. You know, it just is what it is. And we don't even look at Aiden like that, Mariah. We cool. We took Aiden. Aiden's part of the group. Ain't no thing. He part of the group. He just got pretty hair. That's all. Some of us have fell out, but he got pretty hair. You know, I just never looked at them like that. You all tell me in the comments, do you actually consider them like an interracial couple, or do you just consider them just a couple? But that's probably me. And I don't look at stuff. I'm not that white and black. Child, I love whatever the fuck love me back. I don't really get into the whole color thing. I mean, I know when somebody throws shade at me when it comes to color, because again, not only am I black, I am one of those dark blacks, honey. So I know when somebody is throwing shade, and baby, I get them together because I don't have no problem with my melanin, baby. My shit be popping. So I'm cool. But just, when that I've never looked at them that way. Never. I just, okay, good looking couple and just keep it going. That's me. Y'all tell me in the comments how you view Mariah and Aiden. Have you ever really put them over here and said, oh, they're the interracial couple of the show? Or did you just look at them like another couple from the show and kept it moving? That'll be interesting to see what you all got to say about that. But that stuck out to me. Okay, so let's go through people. Simone and Cecil came as Omar and Sanaa from Love and Basketball. I was like, that was lazy. Dr. Jarrett and her husband came as Will and Jada. I was like, John, you know everybody loves Will and Jada. Toya and Eugene came as Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey. Okay, Eugene, Toya, bitch, you could never. You could never, and you really gave yourself some credit, bitch. You could never, bitch, come for Marjorie. Oh, yes, I like Marjorie because she's a fashionista. You're right. Marjorie is a fashionista. Bitch, bye. Anyway, moving on. Uh, Shoot Lucy showed up, child. Shoot Lucy and goddamn Lake and Shoot Lucy's man, they showed up as the queen and the king from Zamunda, and I guess Lake was some old princess. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, she had Lucy all done up, honey, and Shoot Lucy had this big old crown on us. So check her out, honey. And she was quiet and wasn't starting no trouble. I said, hey, Lucy girl, what's going on, honey? She didn't have to start no shit because Heavenly didn't show up. Catch that. Anyway, I know she is mad because, you know, Lucy just like Mariah. Lucy be there for camera time. I know she was mad. The motherfucker that goddamn Heavenly wasn't there. I know she's like, where's that bitch at? You mean I ain't gonna be able to get no motherfucking camera time? Where is that bitch? She's not coming, honey. Anyway, moving on. Jackie and Curtis showed up as Barack and Michelle. No, 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 no. No, 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 Curtis. Sit down. No fucking Barack. Don't you dare, fucker. Anyway, and then Simone made a real horrible joke about, well, they could have came as the Clintons, honey, talking about, well, at least he did have a Monica. I said, oh, Simone, you dirty bitch. I don't know who they could have came as. Jackie was sharp as hell. Gown was sharp. I loved it. But, not no motherfucking Barack. Don't ever try it, Curtis. You sit your fucking ass down. You're out of order. Out of order. And I'm cool with Jackie trying to do, well, no, just get out of here. You don't fucking touch Barack and Michelle. Y'all go sit down. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, moving on. Curtis is Barack. Get your goddamn ass out of here. Anyway, Heavenly call herself. See, Heavenly's a fucking idiot. Here she coming as Tina Turner, and of course, Eugene wasn't with her. She got sidetracked. She ended up going over to Quad. So Quad had actually called her, and she went over to Quad. She decided not to even come to the party because she actually came out. Well, she felt like it was shade. The whole thing was shade anyway, and she really didn't want to go, but she was just going to go because she just felt like she needed to do it. But being as a Quad was feeling some kind of way and having a moment, she said, "Shit, I'd rather come over here with you and drink wine and get drunk and eat all this food that you done bought." So she was Tina Turner. Did y'all see them fucking shoes? I said, bitch, you ain't never seen Tina in no dick beaters like that. Never. Never. And then we're like, Tina and Ike, really? That ain't no good couple. Don't nobody like them as no couple, bitch. He was punching her and hitting her and raping her and carrying on. Don't nobody see them as no couple. That ain't no black love couple, bitch. That's a black fight, bitch. That's what that is. Shit. Anyway, what are you giving, honey? She's a goofball. Mariah and Aiden came as Cookie and Lucius. Y'all know how I feel about my Cookie, honey, but I love Cookie, but Mariah can't be no Cookie for me, honey. But I got it. I get it. I got what you was going for. And shit, Aiden needed to actually be with Heavenly because Aiden looked more like that goddamn Ike Turner when he had that goddamn Sonny Bono wig on. I said, Lord have mercy. Anyway, so that was just a mess. There was a point in the party where Dr. Jarrett, Simone, and Toya were having a conversation. Toya's ass was about to trip, the couple's tripping that, and she was shading Contessa. And Simone was saying, you got to invite her, so don't even try that. You have to invite her. Like, what are you giving? And she was like, I don't know, I ain't thinking about her. She's like refusing to invite Contessa. And and she said, they're like, I thought y'all were over all that. She's like, it's been like 3 weeks, and um me and Big Boy talked about it, and I was like, well, should I go over there? And he's like, well, y'all aren't even on speaking terms, whatever. And she gonna say, so I was just like, fuck it, bitch. I'm like, Toya, you're doing too much with this. You're really doing too much with this. And then when the men actually got together and talked, Eugene, bitch ass Eugene, really? He over there, he's with the shits. And I'm like, okay, and I see the other men that backed off of this shit and they leave it alone because don't nobody want to approach that. And we're coming up very close to this being the end of the season. Them men ain't trying to get into this shit. Eugene's with the shits. He over there kiki and laughing to me. Well, we all are down with Eugene. We like not Eugene. Goddamn Gregory. We like Gregory. Gregory's our friend, blah, blah, blah. And I was wondering who was Quad gonna come as. And he was just grinning and kikiing. I said, bitch ass, what? Shut up, fat ass Eugene, shady fucker. And he's all like, maybe she's coming, it's Oprah. Or I said, oof. He was irritating me real bad. I was like, you acting like Toya. I don't like when you do that. That was horrible. But none of the men was actually playing into it. And Cecil wasn't finding it funny the fuck at all. At all. He was like, I don't even like the fact that we're even having to have this conversation. I don't like it. Me either, Cecil. I love that Cecil. Anyway, moving on. So, that was that. Then there was the whole thing. Like I said, Mariah came down there and told on her motherfucking self and said, I didn't give this party to shade her, but I didn't think that she was going to come or Heavenly. You did just that. You gave this party to shade her. But that's you. You're a shady whore. That's the part that you play on the show. So, okay, good girl. One for you. And you win. You win. You won on that one. You got all the points for that because Quad buckled under the pressure and she got all emotional and she didn't come. But should have been me, bitch. I'd have been up in your partying so motherfucking hard, bitch. Your wig would have split down the middle, bitch. I'd have had a great time, bitch. And I would have been in there giving the greatest performance of my life. Honey, I'd have cried when I left out of there, but while I was in there, bitch, I'd have been getting it and jigging and juking, bitch. You would have knew no better, honey. I'd have been in that motherfucker partying down. I'd have snatched your motherfucking husband and danced his wig off, bitch. Yes, I would have. Yes, I would have. Quad, if you're listening. Next time, you don't let that bitch get you. You understand? You turn on Nancy Wilson before you leave, honey, and you give the greatest performance of your motherfucking life, bitch. Put your head up and keep it moving, honey. Let that bitch get no extra points. Anyway. And Heavenly, you two, you get there, and don't you let Shoot Lucy get one up on you. You be there so when you say it, you can say it loud and proud. She can hear you. Your motherfucking mammy, bitch. While she in there, your mammy, whore. Y'all don't do that no more. Don't sit out no more. Y'all let that hoe have it. Make her eat it, honey. Just a mess. And then Mariah's like, well, why you got to get up in the middle of the party? And talk about you got this poem. You wrote this poem. And you definitely wanted Quad and Heavenly to be here when you read this poem. Y'all heard the poem. What the fuck did that poem have to do with Heavenly and Quad? Absolutely nothing. You just were taking another time to throw a dig, get some camera time, and point out the fact that the two of them were not there and feeling like you were being victimized because you're always the victim. Bitch, if you don't get out of here. And that poem had literally nothing to do with Quad or Heavenly. So why did they have to read it for that poem? Girl, bye. Bye, bye, bye. A mess. Y'all go on down in the comments and let's get at it. You know how we do every week. Let's fight. It's almost over. We almost getting toward the end, child. Only a few more weeks of fighting about this Mariah and Heavenly shit. And Mariah and Quad shit, honey. It's been fun, honey. We got a couple more weeks. We'll continue fighting, honey. See you in the comments.